Good morning guys! Welcome to another video of Ants Southeast Asia, and today to celebrate Mother's Day, I will be talking about reproductive females in an ant colony, which is also the mother of all worker ants, alates, and drones in our ant colonies. First off, I'm going to be talking about gamergates. Most ant colonies have queens, but some have reproductive workers. Those reproductive workers are gamergates. They are worker ants, of course. I just said that have an organ called spermathecae that functions as a sperm reservoir to be able to lay fertile eggs that can develop into workers. So now that I have covered most things about gamergates, I will now be talking about queen ants. A queen ant is an adult reproductive female whose role is to lay fertilized eggs to maintain an ant colony. An ant queen can be divided into three categories: claustral, semiclaustral, and socially parasitic. Claustral queens are typically bulkier than semiclaustral queens, with smaller heads proportionately to social parasites and semiclaustral. The reason for this is that they do not need to forage or fight during the founding stages, since they spend their entire time in a claustral chamber which they will be making. These queens are the easiest to care for and one of the easiest to identify. They have small heads and large thorax and abdomen, and they look like what you might think of queens, what you might first think when you hear the word queen ant. They are easy to care for because you can just leave them in the dark for weeks until the genetics or the first generation of workers emerge, because they do not need food to be able to survive through the colony founding stage. For the queen can use the stored fat from her wing muscles to make a special ant soup to feed her young and herself. Examples are Solenopsis geminata, Camponotus compressus, Lasius niger, and Formica fusca. Semiclaustral queens are usually thinner and require a foraging area to access food during the founding stages. This is because they don't have the ability to make the special soup from their wing muscles. You will need to feed them once a week to once a day, but I prefer once every 3 days. These queens can be trickier to keep but are especially fun to watch. Food requirements vary from species to species, but for the most part of the diet is comprised of sugars and insects. Examples are Odontomachus species, Hypoponera species, Myrmecia species, and Myrmica species. Social parasites are the third type of queen ants. These queens are usually somewhat stocky like the fully claustral queens, but they have larger heads and mandibles in proportion to the thorax compared to their claustral counterparts. These queen need a host in order to found a colony. They usually invade a colony of their preferred host species, kill the queen, and use the workforce to raise her own brood. In order to care for these ants properly, you will need to identify their host, collect some workers and brood, and then attempt to introduce them. Now that we are done with those, I would like to tell you about ergatoids. These are queens who are wingless and looks like workers, making them almost indistinguishable. However, the queens have ocelli, an eye on the top of a queen's head for detecting light. But there's another caste of worker called intercastes, which also have ocelli, which makes the two actually really indistinguishable in looks. The only thing that's different is that the queens can lay fertilized eggs whilst the intercasts cannot. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for all those who have provided pictures for this video. And thank you for watching. Goodbye. See you guys next time.